Hello and welcome to Habitat for Humanity of Iredell County's VolunteerUp website. This is our new online resource for registering and scheduling volunteers. This video will walk you through the process of registering as a new volunteer. We'll make future videos to demonstrate how to sign up for events and how to use some of the other features of the website. As a new volunteer, you'll start by clicking the Login button at the top left corner of the screen. If you were a returning volunteer, you could sign in here with your username and password to access the rest of the site. As a new volunteer, you'll need to click the Register button. Now, this form will allow you to create your volunteer profile. This is where you set your username and your password, give us your contact information, and this is also where you specify some of your skills and interests to help us match you up with specific volunteer opportunities. So we'll work through this form together just to show you how it's done. So start by setting a username and be sure to follow the guidelines given below that box in setting your username, and use something that is familiar to you so you can remember it when you come back later. Of course, if you forget your username or your password, the system will send you a reminder. But we'll set up an account for Billy Smith 123 and set Billy a password. Give us your first and last name, and that is a required field. Also give us your email address, and it's important to use a valid email, something that you check regularly so we can get in touch with you using this information. We also ask you to select your gender because some of our programs and some of our opportunities, like Women Build, are gender specific, so be sure to set that for your profile. You can give us your birth date if you like. Your address is a required field, again, so we can get in touch with you, so be sure to give us a valid mailing address. You can give us a couple of different phone numbers. These aren't required, but it's good practice to give at least one. So we'll set work number. Now, below that is a section for emergency contact information. This field is not required, but it is good practice to fill that in just in case something should happen to you while you're volunteering. We need to be able to look up someone that we can call. So if you're injured while volunteering, we can call your mother, your wife, husband, whoever, to let them know what's going on. So do set this when you register. We'll say Billy's emergency contact is Sheila. Fill in the relationship. Now, the section below here allows you to see your interest and skill level for all of our various volunteer opportunities and tasks. There's a section for each program that we have volunteers involved in. And as you can see, there are 3 columns on here: interested, some ability, and skilled. If you were to check interested, that would indicate that you have not done that particular task before, but you're willing to try. If you click some ability, that would indicate that you've done the task before, you sort of know what you're doing, but you might need some instruction, you might need some supervision. And skilled would indicate to us that you know how to do that particular task, you can do that with your hands tied behind your back, and you'll need little or no supervision in performing that task. And before I go any further, I'd like to note that checking one of these boxes for any of these tasks will not automatically sign you up. This is just a way to indicate your interests and skills so that we can match you up with future volunteer opportunities. These fields are not required, but they do help us to gauge your interest level, your skill level at all of our various volunteer tasks. So please take that information into account and fill in each of these however you see fit. And if your interest level or if your skill level changes at any point, you're welcome to log back in and change this to update. Now, if there's a task that you simply do not want to try, leave that line blank. For example, some people might be interested in roofing, but if you have no interest in getting up on a roof, just leave that line completely blank. We'll fill in a few of these really quick. Do take the time to go through these and fill in each one very specifically. Alright, below that there's a section for other opportunities, other interests and skills. This is where you can fill in things that you might be willing to do as a volunteer that were not mentioned in the sections above. So let's say that Billy Smith is a retired photographer. That would tell us at Habitat that Billy is willing to volunteer as a photographer if we ever need him to. So if you have other skills or interests, anything that you think might benefit Habitat, please fill it in there. Now, below that, there's a section for group membership. There are certain volunteer opportunities, certain events or tasks that are specific to certain groups. So let's say we plan a volunteer day for First Baptist Church. If Billy Smith has checked First Baptist Church on his profile, that would allow him to sign up for that particular event. This also helps us to collect information about which groups and which churches or which businesses are volunteering more than others. So please do take the time to fill in each of the groups that you're a member of. And if there are groups that are not listed here that you think should be, send us an email and we'll add them to the list. So now that you're finished with your volunteer form, or your volunteer profile, please go back through and make sure that all the information is correct. And when you've finished, click the Register button. And if everything's been filled out completely and if all the required fields have something in them, you'll get this message at the top of the screen: registration information added, click here to continue. Now you can make changes to this form at this point, or you can move on. Now this broadcast message will show up when you register as a new volunteer. It will also show up as information on the site changes or as an announcement is made, so take the time to read through that. And once you've clicked "I have read this message," it will not display again until something is changed. And at that point you are completely registered. Once you've done this, you have your account set up so you can go through the site and sign up for different volunteer events. That is the end of this video. I'll do future videos, as I mentioned, to show you how to sign up for events and how to use some of the other features of the site, but this should be enough to get you started for now. Thank you for your interest in Habitat for Humanity, and thank you for using the VolunteerUp website.